Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be talking about the latest project to be released by Rico Nasty. And before begin, this video is sponsored by no one because I'm not making money from YouTube, and I just genuinely love talking about music, and I really have been doing this for about a year now, so I really am grateful and appreciate. Thank you to every one of you that tunes in on a weekly basis to hear what I'm talking about. But yeah, as I mentioned, this week I'm going to be talking about Rico Nasty. She's a DMV-based rapper and artist, and she returns with her sixth commercial release, here being her second studio album. Shout out to all the DMV homies. Always got to support all the musicians coming out from the area. And yeah, she initially hit my radar back in 2017. It was her eclectic and unique style that really caught my attention, her energetic style. She's grown a lot over the years, and it was clear to me that she's had this range to successfully explore different genres. And I would describe her music as primarily being a blend of both rap and punk in an avant garde sense. She blends a lot of different styles, really. She's got an ear for catchy flows, hooks, and fun lyricism. The announcement of this album was intriguing, as her last project, entitled Nightmare Vacation, featured her most pop inspired sound up until that point. I was curious about the direction that this album would go into, and I would say that it's been a pleasant surprise. Here, she leans more into an electronic direction for most of the album. Las Ruinas is a total of 17 tracks, clocking in at about 45 minutes in length. And as always, I'll be offering my thoughts and highlights track by track, of course, starting with the first, entitled Intrusive. The intro is packed with noisy industrial production. We're hit with an upbeat drum drive akin to a drum and bass tune. This is paired with a heavy and buzzing synth bass line, which is booming. Rico's vocals fill the mix, and she delivers harsh bars, of course, in her trademark style. Her voice has tons of cool effects and delay, which makes for a captivating performance. I like how the chorus section features less vocals, thus letting the awesome instrumental breathe some. Thematically, it's an angry and edgy introductory track, as Rico describes her punk rock attitude. My favorite lyrics appear at the end of the first verse: eyes blasted, throat cut, skinny bitch, no butt. I'm only here to smoke more blunts and spit on racist cunts. Mom, if you hear this, I'm sorry. With that, we transition into track number 2, entitled Vaders, featuring BK the Ruler. The intro features an atonal melody. It feels like an electric guitar in terms of timbre. Then the drums come in heavy, and it's a big 808 style to the sound. There's tons of vocal ad-libs in the background, and both vocalists go back and forth throughout the song. I'd say it's decent vocal chemistry between both Rico and BK the Ruler. I like how their vocals aren't divided up into separate verses for each vocalist, but rather a call and response approach to the rapping here. This interwoven style to the collaboration makes for a more fluid listening experience. Thematically, both rappers are firing shots at their haters and naysayers. The bars that summarize the energy best appear during the second verse. Give a fuck about that bitch, skirt off on that bitch. Throwing salt on my name, you end up in a ditch. Let me brush that shit off, let me roll up a spliff, cause that shit can get dark, Marilyn Manson. Track number 3 is entitled Black Punk. This is another industrial cut with dance elements sneaking into the mix towards the end. It's an atonal and buzzing instrumental. There's dissonant synth chords that feel like slimy sludge. There's also stretched out vocals in the background, which seem to be holding down tonal harmonies. After the main section of the song, we've got an EDM-like build-up, which leads into a solely instrumental outro with no vocals on it. This is an audible type of foreshadowing at later styles that we'll hear on the album coming up. Thematically, Rico takes some time to flex her lifestyle and describe things that have become routine for her. There's one big verse in the middle where Rico gets into it and delivers a ton of interesting bars. For example, double C on my frames, I guess I got the vision. Just made a couple 100,000, what a feeling. My hitters, they banging to blow any minute. Track number 4 is entitled Messy, featuring TZ Touchdown and BK the Ruler. The album sonically pivots from here on out, moving into a more dance and electronic-oriented direction. This instrumental features a blend of, it's drum and bass, featuring a blend of singing, rapping, and airy production. The song feels like a blend of so many styles, and it's a nice fusion. I genuinely enjoy the singing here, as both TZ and BK the Ruler belt out decent vocal melodies that are memorable. The vocal chemistry is unique and helps the song stand out as well. It's like a pop punk drum and bass type track. It's kind of crazy. Thematically, all vocalists come together to speak on relationships that just didn't end well. They use language that evokes a sense of regrets, confusion, but most importantly, certainty in who they are moving forward. I'd say TZ's hook sums it up best. How can someone be so pretty, be so petty, so organized, yet so messy, be so gentle, yet so deadly? Track number 5 is entitled Fucking Lady. This song features a more liquid approach to the drum and bass style. The vocals feature a blend of singing and rapping. This might be the first time I've heard Rico sing this much on a track, and I've got to say it is a decent sound. The main hook is catchy and her voice sounds good on the electronic-infused production. The drums feel muffled, and in the background we've got warm synth chords that feel like they're underwater. Thematically, it's an unapologetic ode to Rico's drive and personality. I think the end of the second verse sums it up well. I just want to celebrate like a damn champion. I'd be smoking so much weed, might as well own a strain. Got a check and a few deals, now I'm into owning land. I can't care about what you think because it goes against the brand. Track number 6 is entitled 1 on 5, featuring BB Borelli. House production on this instrumental is a pleasant surprise. The instrumental features a syncopated percussive bass line, subtle synth accompaniment, fun ad-libs, and a lively, layered 4-on-the-floor type beat. Rico sings a lot more on this track, featuring a staccato delivery with sexy and memorable vocal melodies. Borelli's contributions to the song aren't very clear to me. I suspect she's provided background vocals and some songwriting as well, but that's just my best speculation. She's a creative powerhouse that's worked with the best in pop music, so I can certainly feel her influence here. Lyrically, it's a fun song where Rico describes her energy as she explains on the pre-chorus, see what happens, fuck with a bitch, jab jab, cross on my elevator shit. Play if you want to, pew pew bang, I told you not to fuck with the gang. Track number 7 is entitled Gots to Get Paid. The eerie, dissonant piano chords at the intro set the tone perfectly for the song. This is a smooth, hip-hop tune that feels super dastardly and villainous. We've got an eerie synth melody that repeats throughout the tune, as well as a fun, cartoonish percussive sample that plays every 4 measures. I cannot pinpoint the name of that instrument, but you just hear it and you know what I'm talking about. The drums feature subtle reverb, which helps widen the mix also. This might be one of my favorite songs to come from this album. I love Rico's vocal delivery and approach to the main hook. It's not super melodic, and it doesn't have to be. It's effective and catchy. Thematically, it's another song where Rico explains her energy and makes it very clear to the listener that she's got tunnel vision and doesn't play when it comes to her goals. I like the way she describes it on the second verse. If you want issues, we grant you your wishes. I'm in the hills, but I came from the trenches. Rocking a trench coat, ready to go. Who want it? Come get smoke, bang when we let it go. I'd rather do it than say it, that's facts, you know. Track number 8 is entitled Watch Your Man, featuring Marshmello. This is honestly a cool instrumental, featuring a blend of drum and bass and hip-hop. There's 2 distinct sections to the song, the drum and bass drive and the 808 hip-hop section. We've got a blend of crunchy synths, a fat bass line, and popping drums. Now, I'm not the biggest Marshmello fan, but I will admit he's capable of producing cool music, and he did slide with this instrumental. Rico matches the energy here as she raps over the different beat types and acts as the glue for the varying styles. Lyrically, it's another brief tune where Rico speaks directly to her haters. I like how she puts it in the third verse where she raps, I'm with that getting money shit, and you be out with such and such. You say that I do too much. Quite frankly, you don't do enough. Track number 9 is entitled Blow Me. This is a sexy song featuring hip-hop production for the most part. There's not much melody here, with the background accompaniment featuring lazy and distorted synth chords, a stiff and thick bass line, and the turned 808 drums. I enjoy Rico's bars on this song as her vocal delivery feels more relaxed and laid back. One minor critique is in reference to the hook. It is very repetitive and can easily fatigue the listener. I know I definitely was. But anyway, thematically, this song is about hearing big talk from another person, like, for example, a potential romantic prospect, and reminding them that you expect them to follow through with what they claim to be about. Track number 10 is entitled Jungle. This is Rico Nasty's remix of the song. It's a remix of a banger by rising EDM star Fred Again. The instrumental is a sleek house tune featuring an infectious, chopped up vocal melody. It never gets old. One listen and you'll hear exactly what I mean. The four on the floor groove is solid here, and we've got more buzzing synth accompaniment propelling the track forward. This is such a catchy tune that I simply could not get enough of it. I had heard it a couple times previous to this album, and Rico's contributions to the remix do help make the song more memorable and more distinct. Lyrically, Rico paints a carefree scene of one trying to enjoy themselves despite knowing it's an imperfect world that we find ourselves in. Her first verse sums it up nicely. Killer be killed, driller be drilled. It's heating up, how the temperature feel. We going bananas, do what you feel. I don't got no manners, don't got no chill. Every man for themself, it get hot in the field. Back to the jungle, I'm gripping the wheel. Bitch, I keep a pole, I like playing with steel. It's a lot of fun energy on the song. It was already a great song on its own. I think her remix just elevates it even further. Track number 11 is entitled Dance Scream. This is another fun pop dance tune featuring a ton of singing from Rico. I like the approach to the production. It's very hyper pop influenced. We've got chopped up vocals creating melodies and some subtle syncopated metallic synth chords in the background. I like Rico's rapping, but I do think her singing on the hook might be the weakest part of the song. The synth melody we hear towards the end is a very cool note to end the song on. Thematically, Rico highlights the lingering emotions one may feel for a former lover. It's a strange blend of lust and a desire for closure. Rico's first verse introduces the listener to this energy as she sings, I know what I said, but I take it all back. I really don't cling, but I'm feeling attached. Put us in the ring, cause I think we a match. I just want to feel on your body, that's that. I could make your life different, that's facts. Track number 12 is entitled Skull Flower. If the previous track flirts with hyperpop, then this track goes all the way with it. Featuring only pitched up vocals from Rico, it's a blend of both singing and rapping here. There's wild filters on her voice during the hook, which complements the eclectic production. Her voice is so distorted that it's nearly impossible to understand what she's singing. The instrumental is colorful, and I can see Sophie's influence clear as day here. We've got a steady Moog bass line, squeaky synths, lively arpeggios, and metallic snares as the cherry on top. Lyrically, Rico speaks on her lifestyle, detailing what a night out with her is like. The end of the second verse highlights the energy as she sings, I'm killing it daily, they think I do rituals. The way I stunt on them is so habitual. You lie and I'm literal, condition critical. Why you pretending that we can't get rid of you? This track does sound out of left field when you just hear it sonically, and I'm still not sure how I feel about it, but it is cool. Track number 13 is entitled Focus on Me. This feels like a calm and almost somber pop tune. Rico sings on the majority of the song here as well. Her voice is squeezed through all sorts of filters and phasers that create an interesting timbre. I do enjoy the vocal melodies featured here. The instrumental features wet and airy synths, subdued synth pop drums, and sustained bass tones. Lyrically, it's quite brief as Rico touches on a type of love she experienced in the past that was so strong it became blinding. Once she finishes singing, the instrumental breathes as it gradually fades out. And we transition into track number 14, entitled Always, Skit. This is an interesting electronic cut that acts as an interlude for the album. The production is honestly gorgeous, featuring a ton of reverb and a massive mix. It's ultra wide as we can hear a blend of various synth melodies that are all intertwined, and Rico's own voice acts as one of those melodies. She's singing words, but the way her voice fits into the mix, it's just barely beneath the surface that we can hear it. Thematically, Rico sings in circles as it's clear she's trying to cope with something and wants to move on from it. At the very end, it's revealed what she means as she sings, You tried to deny the pain you caused. I loved you beyond the flaws. Like chalkboards against claws, we kept hitting walls. So many circles we can't run in anymore. I don't want to love you anymore. What follows is track 15 entitled Easy. This is quite the emo tune, primarily featuring singing and sad acoustic guitar accompaniment. Eventually, a grand piano drenched in reverb joins the mix, helping widen it nicely. Lyrically, Rico speaks on a relationship that ended badly. It was one where she was hurt in many different ways, and now she's struggling to figure out what her next steps are. At the beginning of the first verse, she sings my favorite lines. From the start, I just felt like a project, trying to be what you wanted me to be. I'm so fucked up, I won't go to therapy. Fuck it. Should charge you for the therapy. We climbing up hills and mountains. Love's supposed to be easy. Track 16 is entitled Into the Dark. This is another emo tune featuring a fusion of 808 drum samples and rock-flavored snares and kicks. Rico sings for the most part, and there's an interesting filter on her voice, giving us a phased taste to the sound. I'm not sure it works well with the production, though, because her voice is phased to the point that it becomes distracting. I think the hook may be the weakest part of the song for that reason. During the second half, the instrumental leans into a breakcore flavor, with the drums switching up completely, and I've got to say, it is a nice change of pace. Thematically, the song expands on themes that were previously explored. Rico ruminates on an unhealthy relationship from the past. Her reflection has led her to a tough conclusion, which she highlights on the chorus. I saw this in a dream I had. You stormed out of my house so mad. I ran after you into the dark. I promise I'll do better, and I know we're not the best of friends. You were right about me from the start. We reach the concluding track, number 17, entitled Chicken Nugget. This is a beautifully somber and emo-influenced track, only in terms of energy. I love the filter on Rico's voice. It feels crunchy in the best way. The vocal melodies are catchy and reminiscent of Kanye's Yeezus era, if you'd like a frame of reference. The instrumental feels like a blend of synthwave and hip-hop. It's an effective fusion here. We can hear a blend of piano, strings, richly layered drums, and beautiful keys towards the end. Thematically, this might be the most emotional song of the project. Rico speaks on motherhood and describes her own growth throughout her journey as a young mother. As a result of this growth, Rico finds herself expressing endless gratitude to her own mother and feels relieved that she can finally say she's in a good place in life. And towards the end of the song, Rico samples her own son's voice, and it's very cute the way she pulled that off. Overall, I'd say this was a solid project. It's not perfect, and it has its highs and lows. The high points are very strong, and the low points are passable, which I'd say is a good thing. I can hear the maturity in Rico's artistry, and I mean that in terms of lyricism, vocal delivery, and beat selections. She leans heavily into a dance and EDM-inspired sound for the majority of the album, which caught me off guard. However, it feels like a good direction for her. I've been a fan for quite some time now and would often find myself wondering where she'd go next. I'd say the result of her efforts is an effective dance album that offers a diverse experience. There's a little something here for everyone. I recommend you give the album a listen, and if this is your first Rico Nasty album, you should definitely go back through her catalog because this album feels like a culmination of her previous work. But yeah, with all that being said, I really do think this is a solid album. I really think you should give it a try. If you're a fan of Rico Nasties and you haven't been keeping up, definitely might want to pick this album up just to kind of dive back into her sound. And if you've sat here and you've listened to me talk about Rico Nasty and Las Ruinas this whole time, I really do appreciate you taking the time to do so. And if you've got music you want to share with somebody, you can certainly send that my way. And if you want some feedback, just ask me and I will be happy to offer that. And again, thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you're having a very wonderful day. Peace.